Philip II, the great reformer, the great shaper of Macedonian military power, and then his son Alexander the Great, who eventually take over political military control of the Greek world. They are a dominant military power, cavalry in particular, with high tech for the time military weaponry, but also ways of deploying men on the battlefield. And they are a superior fighting force. And so, on the periphery of the Greek world, this military power arises. Alexander takes his army into the Persian Empire, defeats the Persian Empire after a few battles. But I mean, it's an amazing military campaign for a decade, which is extraordinary, really extraordinary for the ancient world. Which is why even Roman generals, centuries later, look back to Alexander as unequaled in imperial military.
Yeah, I always thought that Rome was obviously the great kind of expansionist empire, and like the Greeks weren't like militarized in that way. I didn't actually associate Alexander with the Greeks, but he was actually taught by Plato, I think. And
Aristotle.
like,
Aristotle,
was it? Yeah,
yep.
yeah. What made him such a brilliant general and a brilliant war leader?
Now we get into psychohistory, and we have to read sources like Plutarch, who's our main source of Alexander's life. All of a sudden, we have Macedon being a military power. So historians tend to connect Philip's experience in Thebes, this, at the time of the power in the Greek world, and he learns lessons as a young man and converts this rough civilization into a military powerhouse by fighting wars in the surrounding area of Macedon initially against all these tribes on pretty rough terrain. This is a mountainous part of the Greek world. And eventually, turns sights on southern Greece, the Greek city-state world. So Philip is underestimated often as something of a genius, and Alexander benefited from that, whether he was behind Philip's murder or not. And Alexander, he's a young man, but he must have been extraordinarily charismatic. The men followed him for a long time until they started to revolt after getting tired of years of war. But he must have been a great military leader, and depicted at the head of the army, taking a lot of risks on campaign and strategist, and quite successful against the Persian Empire, which was not as powerful as the Greeks initially feared. The campaigns have significant impact all over the place, for a long period of time, in the Near East, but in the Greek world, maybe even all the way to China.